It's not rejection, it's redirection from above. Lesson 1. The Law of the Mind Garden. Today we embark on a journey of discovery that will transform your understanding of life's setbacks and disappointments. I want to share with you one of the most profound principles I've encountered in my studies of human achievement, what I call the Law of the Mind Garden. Imagine, if you will, that your mind is like a fertile garden plot. Every thought you think is a seed planted in this garden. Not just any thoughts, but particularly those dominant thoughts that occupy your mental landscape day after day. These are the seeds that take root and grow. What a remarkable discovery this is. We become what we think about. This simple principle, understood by the great thinkers throughout history, from Marcus Aurelius to Emerson, holds the key to understanding why some people achieve magnificent success while others struggle their entire lives. Your thoughts are not idle passengers in your consciousness. They are creating, at this very moment, an invisible force field that guides your decisions, shapes your attitudes, and ultimately determines the harvest of your life. This isn't mystical thinking. It's as practical as the farmer who knows that corn seeds produce corn and tomato seeds produce tomatoes. Let me share something with you that may change everything. When you experience what appears to be rejection, that job you didn't get, the relationship that ended, the opportunity that vanished, what's really happening is redirection. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, is simply guiding you toward the path that aligns with the thoughts you've been planting. This is why controlling what you allow into your mind garden is so critical. A mind filled with thoughts of doubt, fear, and limitation will produce exactly those conditions in your life. But a mind richly planted with expectation, confidence, and possibility will yield a far different harvest. I challenge you to try this simple experiment. For the next 30 days, commit to a mental diet. Just as you'd carefully select what foods to put into your physical body, consciously choose what thoughts you'll allow to take root in your mind. When negative thoughts appear, as they certainly will, gently replace them with thoughts of gratitude, opportunity, and faith. Consider the story of young Thomas. After losing his position at a prestigious firm, he fell into despair, believing his career was finished. But rather than dwelling on rejection, he began filling his mind with thoughts of new possibilities. Within weeks, he discovered entrepreneurial talents he never knew he possessed. 2 years later, his new venture surpassed anything he could have achieved at his former company. Was his initial rejection a failure? No, it was redirection to something better, but only because he planted the right seeds in his mind garden. The law is neutral. It works with unwavering consistency, whether you understand it or not. But those who grasp this principle gain an advantage that transforms ordinary lives into extraordinary wives into extraordinary ones. Your mind garden awaits your careful tending. What seeds will you plant today? Lesson 2. Failure. Nature's Guidance System. My good friend, have you ever considered that what appears to be rejection might actually be life's way of redirecting you to something far better? This profound truth has transformed countless lives throughout history, and today I'd like to share it with you. Nature, in her infinite wisdom, has built into every living thing a guidance system. When a plant cannot grow in shade, it doesn't consider itself a failure. It doesn't consider itself simply bends toward the light. In the same way, when you face what appears to be rejection, you're not experiencing failure. You're receiving valuable feedback. I remember a young woman named Sarah who applied for her dream job at a prestigious company. After 3 interviews, she received the dreaded rejection letter. She was devastated. But within 2 weeks, a competitor offered her a position with better pay, greater responsibility, and a shorter commute. What seemed like rejection was merely redirection to something more aligned with her true path. This pattern repeats throughout history. Did you know Thomas Edison failed more than 10,000 times before creating a successful light bulb? When asked about all those failures, he famously replied, "I have not failed. I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Each closed door pointed him toward the one that would eventually open. Every setback contains hidden gifts waiting to be unwrapped. First, rejection builds resilience, that inner strength that allows you to bounce back stronger. Second, it refines your skills as you learn and improve. Third, it clarifies your true desires by eliminating what isn't meant for you. Fourth, it creates space for better opportunities. And fifth, it connects you with your authentic path when you might have settled for less. When disappointment comes, and it will come to all of us, try this simple technique. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what is this teaching me? Where might this be leading me instead? This simple shift transforms you from victim to student. Remember young Abraham Lincoln? Before becoming one of America's greatest presidents, he failed in business twice, suffered a nervous breakdown, and lost 8 elections. Each no on his path was preparing him for the most important yes of his lifetime. The difference between those who ultimately succeed and those who remain defeated lies in how they process setbacks. Rather than seeing obstacles as walls, begin seeing them as stepping stones. Each rejection is not an end, but a bend in the road of your journey. So the next time a door closes in your life, don't waste energy trying to force it open. Instead, look around with hope and curiosity. Nature's guidance system is working perfectly, directing you away from what isn't yours toward what is uniquely meant for you. It's not rejection. It's redirection from above. This is Earl Nightingale reminding you that your greatest disappointments often become the birthplace of your most significant achievements. If you have the wisdom to see redirection for the gift it truly is. Lesson 3. The Miracle of Goal Setting. I've often marveled at the curious fact that most people spend more time planning a 2-week vacation than they do planning their lives. They drift through the years like a rudderless ship on the open sea, pushed this way and that by the winds of circumstance, never quite reaching any particular destination. And then they wonder why success seems so elusive. My friend, there exists a miracle so powerful, yet so simple that it has transformed millions of ordinary lives into extraordinary ones. That miracle is the act of setting clear, specific goals. When you commit your dreams to paper, something almost magical begins to happen in your mind. Your subconscious, that powerful servant within, suddenly has a destination to work toward. Why is it that only about 5% of people ever achieve remarkable success? The answer is painfully obvious, because only about 5% of people ever decide exactly what they want and write it down with a commitment to achieve it. The rest remain part of the aimless majority, hoping that somehow, someday, things will improve. Goals act like a lighthouse in the fog of daily living. When you know precisely where you're headed, you can make 1,000 small decisions that align with your destination. Should I watch another hour of television or read that book? Should I spend money on this impulse purchase or save toward my goal? The clarity of purpose eliminates confusion and brings a wonderful sense of direction to your days. Here's a simple 6-step framework anyone can follow. First, decide exactly what you want in each area of your life. Be specific. Vague wishes produce vague results. Second, write it down in the present tense as though you've already achieved it. Third, set a deadline that stretches you but remains believable. Fourth, list every obstacle you'll need to overcome. Fifth, identify the people, groups, and organizations whose help you'll need. Finally, sixth, write down exactly what you'll give in return for achieving your goal. Have you noticed how certain people seem to experience an unusual amount of lucky breaks and fortunate coincidences? This isn't luck at all, but rather the strange connection between clarity and synchronicity. When you know exactly what you're looking for, you begin to notice opportunities that were always there but previously invisible to your unfocused mind. I recommend establishing a weekly goal review practice every Sunday evening. Take 30 minutes of quiet time to assess your progress, adjust your approach, and reconnect with your vision. This simple habit will accelerate your momentum tremendously. Your mind moves toward your dominant thoughts. When you establish a personal North Star through clear goal setting, you program your subconscious to work day and night toward its achievement. The greatest tragedy isn't failing to reach your goals, but rather never having set them in the first place. Decide today what you truly want, Write it down and watch the miracle of goal setting transform your life in ways you can scarcely imagine. Lesson 4. The Strangest Secret in Plain Sight. I've spent decades studying successful people, and do you know what I've discovered? The strangest secret to success has been hiding in plain sight all along. It's this profound truth. Success equals the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Notice I didn't say success is reaching your goal. It's the journey of moving toward something meaningful that brings true fulfillment. Most people chase happiness as if it were a destination, but happiness blooms along the path of pursuit. When you're growing toward your purpose, taking those daily steps, that's when joy finds you. The mountain peak provides a magnificent view, but it's the climb that strengthens your character. Now, how do we apply this wisdom? By breaking down our dreams into daily actions. The architect doesn't build a skyscraper in one mighty effort. He places one steel beam at a time. Your magnificent life follows the same principle. Those small, consistent efforts compound into extraordinary results. Mighty oak trees start as tiny acorns. They grow silently underground before showing any evidence above the surface. Your success operates by the same natural law. For weeks, sometimes months, you'll take action without visible results. But beneath the surface, powerful forces are at work. The farmer doesn't plant seeds one day and harvest crops the next. He continues nurturing the soil, trusting nature's process. We live in an age of instant gratification. We want immediate results, immediate recognition, immediate rewards. But lasting success doesn't work that way. The universe rewards patience, persistence, and faith in the unfolding process. The water that cuts through rock doesn't do it through force, but through persistence, one drop at a time. Establish what I call success rituals. Daily practices that align with your worthy ideal. Perhaps it's waking at 5 a.m. to write, making 5 sales calls before lunch, or practicing your craft for 1 focused hour. These rituals create momentum, and momentum is the great secret of achievement. I once met a novelist who wrote just 3 pages every day without fail. Not 10 pages on Monday and none the rest of the week. 3 pages daily. Within a year, she had completed a 900-page manuscript. Her success came not from Herculean effort, but from unstoppable consistency. The strangest secret remains strange, because so few apply it. They start with enthusiasm, but abandon ship when the winds of immediate results don't fill their sails. The winners in life understand that invisible progress eventually becomes visible success. Your worthy ideal awaits your progressive realization. Each day presents 86,400 seconds, a treasure of time to invest in becoming the person you're capable of being. Don't squander today, waiting for tomorrow's big break. The strangest secret whispers. Your daily choices are silently shaping your destiny. Listen carefully, act consistently, and watch how your life transforms through the magic of persistent, purposeful action. Lesson 5. Your Mental Blueprint. Good morning, my industrious friend. What a privilege it is to share this journey with you today as we explore the remarkable architecture of your mind. You possess within you right now a mental blueprint. A master design that shapes every aspect of your life more powerfully than you may realize. This blueprint wasn't something you consciously created. Much of it was formed in your earliest years, when your young mind absorbed the messages from parents, teachers, and society like a sponge soaking up water. Picture a magnificent house being built. Before the first brick is laid, an architect draws detailed plans that will guide every aspect of construction. In the same way, your mental blueprint guides the construction of your life. The difference is that most people never examine their blueprint. They wonder why certain patterns keep repeating in their lives, never realizing they're building exactly according to the plans in their minds. What limiting beliefs were installed in your blueprint? Perhaps you were told money doesn't grow on trees or people like us don't get ahead. Maybe you heard you're not good at math or don't aim too high. You'll just be disappointed. These statements, accepted by your young mind, became part of your operating system. Here's the magnificent truth. You can revise your blueprint at any time. Unlike physical architecture, your mental design can be modified through conscious effort. This isn't mere positive thinking. It's the practical application of mental laws that govern human achievement. The self-image you hold determines precisely what you'll achieve. If you see yourself as someone who struggles with money, you'll find ways to fulfill that prophecy. If your self-image includes robust health, your actions will naturally align with that vision. The ceiling of your accomplishment rises exactly as high as your self-concept allows. No higher, no lower. Begin today by identifying one limiting belief that's held you back. Perhaps it's "I'm not creative" or "I never follow through." Challenge this belief. Ask yourself, is this absolutely true? Where did I learn this? What evidence do I have that contradicts this belief? Next, craft an affirmation that directly counters this limitation. If your belief is "I'm not good with people," your new statement might be, "I connect easily with others and build meaningful relationships naturally." Repeat this affirmation with feeling morning and evening. But words alone aren't enough. Create new reference experiences that contradict the old belief. If you believe you lack discipline, commit to a small daily practice and maintain it for 30 days. Each success becomes evidence that your old blueprint was incorrect. Remember, your mind can only operate from the blueprint it has. Give it a magnificent design, and it will faithfully build that reality for you. The moment you decide to revise your mental blueprint is the moment your redirection truly begins. Your future is determined by your dominant thoughts and beliefs, not by your past, your circumstances, or what others think possible for you. Start today, this very hour, to consciously design the blueprint from which your ideal life will be constructed. Lesson 6. The Magic of Right Attitude. Good morning. This is Earl Nightingale, and today we're going to explore one of the most powerful forces in human achievement. Attitude. Your attitude is like the rudder of a mighty ship, determining the direction of your entire life journey. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to float through life's challenges with grace, while others are knocked down by the smallest gust of wind? The difference isn't luck or circumstances, it's attitude. Your attitude determines your altitude in every single area of your life. Consider two children learning to ride bicycles. The first falls, cries, and declares, "I can't do this." The second falls, gets up with a smile, and says, "I almost had it that time." Same event, different interpretations, vastly different outcomes. One quits, one continues, all because of attitude. Gratitude forms the foundation of an abundant life. When you appreciate what you have, you create space for more blessings to enter. Start each morning by naming 3 things you're thankful for. This simple practice shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present, and what you focus on expands. Enthusiasm is the fuel that powers achievement. The word enthusiasm comes from the Greek entheos, meaning God within. When you approach tasks with enthusiasm, you tap into a divine energy source that makes even difficult work feel like play. Have you noticed how time flies when you're engaged in something with your whole heart? Maintaining positive expectancy amid challenges requires practice. When faced with obstacles, ask yourself, what's good about this situation? Or what can I learn here? These questions redirect your mind from problem, dwelling to solution, seeking. The attitude of service creates a pathway to lasting success. Those who focus primarily on what they can get rarely find satisfaction. But those who ask, "How can I be of value?" discover opportunities everywhere. The marketplace rewards those who solve problems for others. Worry is simply the misuse of imagination. Instead of mentally rehearsing worst-case scenarios, convert that same energy into productive planning. Ask, what specific actions can I take to prevent or address this concern? Then take those actions. This transforms paralyzing worry into empowering strategy. Cultivating unshakable optimism doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means seeing challenges clearly while maintaining faith in your ability to overcome them. Each evening, reflect on one thing that went well today and why. Over time, you'll train your mind to naturally spot possibilities rather than problems. Your attitude isn't something you're born with. It's something you choose moment by moment. And the wonderful news is that you have complete control over this choice. No one and nothing can determine your attitude without your permission. Remember, life doesn't happen to you. It responds to you. And it responds most powerfully to the attitude you bring to each day. Choose an attitude of gratitude, enthusiasm, positive expectancy, service, and optimism, and watch as the magic unfolds in your life. Lesson 7. The Acre of Diamonds Principle. I want to tell you a story that changed my life when I first heard it many years ago. It's about a farmer who sold his farm to travel the world, searching for diamonds, only to die penniless and broken. Meanwhile, the man who purchased his farm discovered one of the largest diamond mines in history, right there on that very property. This story contains one of life's most profound lessons. The treasure you seek is often right under your feet. In our constant looking outward for opportunities, for the next big thing, we fail to see the acres of diamonds that surround us in our present circumstances. We're convinced the grass is greener somewhere else, that success must be found in another place, another job, another relationship. But what if I told you that right where you are, in your ordinary life, extraordinary opportunities exist? They do. The problem isn't a lack of opportunities. It's a lack of vision to see them. Consider the case of young Mary, who dreamed of becoming a writer but felt her small-town life gave her nothing to write about. She complained there were no stories worth telling where she lived. Then one day a visitor pointed out how unique her town's traditions were to outsiders. Mary began writing about the very community she'd dismissed as boring. Those stories eventually became her first published book. You see, opportunity doesn't always wear a neon sign. It often disguises itself as an everyday problem waiting for someone to solve it. The person who learns to see with fresh eyes, to really observe what others overlook, holds the key to discovery. Right now, you possess knowledge, connections, talents, and experiences that are uniquely yours. Have you truly explored them? Have you mined these resources for their full value? Take an inventory of your assets, not just material things, but your skills, relationships, and insights. That hobby you enjoy might contain the seeds of a new career. That problem you face daily might be the very opportunity others would pay to have solved. The secret is asking better questions. Instead of what's wrong with my situation, ask what's uniquely valuable about where I am right now. Instead of how can I escape these circumstances, ask what opportunity is hiding in plain sight. Thomas Edison didn't invent the light bulb by looking where everyone else was looking. He saw a possibility where others saw failure. Your acre of diamonds isn't in some distant land. It's in the talents you already possess, the people you already know, the situation you're already in. But you must develop the wisdom to recognize it. Starting today, I challenge you to look at your life with new eyes. The opportunity you seek is closer than you think. Your acre of diamonds awaits, not over the rainbow, but right beneath your feet. Lesson 8. The Value of Time Mastery. Time is the most precious asset you'll ever possess. Unlike money, which can be earned, borrowed, saved, and replenished, time moves in only one direction. When this day is gone, it is gone forever. The clock is ticking for all of us, for the factory worker and the company president alike, at precisely the same rate. We each receive exactly 24 hours each day, 160, 8 hours each week, to use as we see fit. The great difference between people isn't intelligence or opportunity or resources. It's how they choose to invest these hours that separate the extraordinary from the ordinary. Successful people guard their time jealously and invest it wisely. Consider the 80-20 principle, sometimes called the Pareto principle. This remarkable law tells us that roughly 80% of your results come from just 20% of your efforts. Think about that. Most of what you achieve comes from a small portion of what you do. The wise person identifies those high-value activities and focuses their precious time there. A ship's captain knows that a mere 1-degree change in direction, maintained over time, completely alters the vessel's destination. Your use of time works the same way. Small, consistent changes in your daily routine can dramatically transform your life's journey. What activities make up your vital 20%? For some, it might be deep creative work, strategic thinking, or building important relationships. For others, it could be honing a specific skill, direct customer interaction, or focused problem solving. When you discover these high-value activities, schedule them during your peak energy hours. Most people, unfortunately, live reactively. Their days are consumed by interruptions, distractions, and emergencies, spending valuable time on low-value activities. They're busy, terribly busy, yet make little meaningful progress. Activity is not the same as accomplishment. Creating a personal effectiveness system begins with clarity about your most important goals. What are you truly trying to accomplish? Why does it matter? With this clarity, you can examine each potential activity and ask, is this the highest and best use of my time right now? Learn to eliminate the unnecessary. Every yes to one thing is a no to something else. The most effective people aren't those who do the most things, but those who do the most important things. They've mastered the art of strategic elimination. In our modern world, deep focus has become increasingly rare and therefore increasingly valuable. The ability to concentrate without distraction on a demanding task is a superpower. Protect your attention as carefully as you protect your time. Consider planning your ideal day in advance. As Benjamin Franklin wisely noted, if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. When you design, you are planning to fail. When you design your day intentionally, you're far less likely to be swept away by the currents of busyness and distraction. Time mastery isn't about cramming more activities into your day. It's about investing your irreplaceable hours in activities aligned with your highest values and most important goals. You simply cannot afford to spend major time on minor things. Time will pass regardless of how you use it. The question is, will you spend it or will you invest it? Your answer determines your destiny. Lesson 9. The Divine Detour. Good morning, friends. This is Earl Nightingale, and today we're exploring one of life's most profound paradoxes. When the path we've chosen suddenly ends, when doors slam shut despite our best efforts, when rejection seems to block our way forward, that's precisely when the most extraordinary opportunities emerge. The greatest tragedy in life isn't rejection itself, but misinterpreting what rejection truly means. Most of us respond to rejection with disappointment, self-doubt, and sometimes even despair. We see it as an endpoint rather than what it truly is, a divine detour guiding us toward a better destination than the one we had planned. Consider for a moment the curious case of a young cartoonist who was fired from his newspaper job because his editor said he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. That rejection could have ended his creative pursuits completely. Instead, that young man, Walt Disney, used this redirection to venture into entirely new territory, eventually creating an entertainment empire that has touched billions of lives across generations. What we perceive as rejection is often life's way of saying, "Not this way, there's a better path." The trouble is, we become so fixated on our original plan that we resist the redirection. We fail to recognize that a higher wisdom may be operating in our lives, steering us toward possibilities we couldn't have imagined. When you face rejection, try this powerful shift in perspective. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask instead, "What is this preparing me for?" The first question makes you a victim. The second makes you a victim. And in this magnificent classroom of life, the lessons that initially seem most painful often yield the most valuable growth. Rejection is never personal, even when it feels intensely so. It is simply information, guidance, and redirection. Think of it as a loving tap on the shoulder from above, saying, "Not there, this way instead." Throughout history, the most remarkable success stories frequently begin with painful rejection. The manuscript rejected by 12 publishers before becoming a bestseller. The job application denied that led to starting a thriving business. The relationship that ended, creating space for a more fulfilling one to begin. The key is maintaining what I call faithful flexibility, holding firm to your ultimate vision while remaining flexible about the exact path to reach it. When rejection appears, rather than pushing harder against the closed door, look around. You'll often notice another door is quietly opened nearby. Life speaks to us through our circumstances. Rejection is simply part of that language, not a statement of your worth, but a signpost directing your journey. The sooner you learn to interpret rejection as redirection from above, the sooner you'll discover that those apparent detours were actually the most direct route to your highest good. So the next time rejection visits you, smile and say, "Thank you for the redirection." Then open your eyes to see where the new path leads. What seems like defeat in the moment often becomes the foundation of your greatest victory. Lesson 10. The quiet power of persistence. What separates those who achieve their dreams from those who don't? After studying success for decades, I can tell you that it's rarely talent or intelligence alone. It's persistence, that quiet, determined quality that keeps a person going long after others have given up. Imagine a stonecutter hammering away at a rock. He might strike it 100 times without seeing any crack appear. Yet on the 101st blow, the rock splits in two. Was it that final blow that did it? No, it was all the blows that came before. This is how success works in your life. Each effort, each attempt, each small step forward is slowly creating the breakthrough that will eventually appear. The greatest tragedy is that most people quit just before their breakthrough was about to happen. Did you know that most people abandon their New Year's resolutions by January 19th? They give up before giving their actions time to compound. The oak tree doesn't appear overnight. It grows slowly, steadily, persistently over time, until one day you look up and realize a mighty tree stands where once was just a fragile sapling. When Colonel Sanders was 65 years old, his only income was a $105 monthly Social Security check. His chicken recipe was rejected 1009 times before someone finally said yes. Today, Kentucky Fried Chicken is enjoyed worldwide. If he had stopped at rejection number 100 or even 1,000, his recipe would have died with him. The world reserves its richest rewards for those who persist beyond normal stopping points. When you face rejection, remember it's merely redirection, guiding you toward a better path or helping you refine your approach. Persistence requires these 4 simple habits. First, create a definite purpose backed by burning desire. Second, build a clear plan and take continuous action. Third, close your mind to negative influences and doubt. And fourth, surround yourself with people who will encourage and support your vision. When Thomas Edison's laboratory burned down, destroying years of work, he watched calmly as the fire consumed his efforts. The next morning, at age 67, he said, "There is great value in disaster. All our mistakes are burned up. Thank God we can start anew." Within 3 weeks, he delivered his first phonograph. Children instinctively understand persistence. Watch a baby learning to walk. They fall down repeatedly but never think, "Perhaps walking isn't for me." They persist until walking becomes second nature. We were all born with this quality, but many lose it through negative conditioning. No success worth achieving comes quickly or easily. The darkest hours often come just before dawn. When you feel like giving up, persist one more day, make one more attempt, take one more step. This is often when the tide turns. Persistence is your proof to the universe that you want something badly enough to deserve it. When rejection appears to block your path, recognize it as a divine redirection guiding you to something better. Then persist in following that new direction with unwavering faith. Lesson 11. Rising after every fall. The hallmark of a successful person is not that they never fall, but that they always rise again. This simple truth lies at the heart of our journey toward achievement. I've studied the lives of countless people who have scaled the heights of success, and I can tell you with absolute certainty that not one of them traveled a smooth and uninterrupted path to their destination. Consider this magnificent truth. Each time you fall and choose to rise again, you develop strength of character that cannot be gained any other way. This resilience becomes the foundation upon which all lasting achievement is built. Just as a tree's roots grow stronger when challenged by powerful winds, your character deepens with every challenge you overcome. Now there's a certain mental approach that champions adopt when facing setbacks. They understand that failure is never final unless they decide to make it so. When rejection comes their way, they don't collapse into despair or self-pity. Instead, they ask themselves, what can I learn from this experience? How can I use this redirection to move closer to my true purpose? This perspective transforms what appears to be rejection into divine redirection. The universe often has plans far greater than those we initially imagine for ourselves. That job you didn't get, that relationship that didn't work out, that project that fell apart, each closed door is simultaneously opening another, one that leads you closer to your authentic path. Remember the story of Thomas Edison, who famously said of his numerous unsuccessful attempts to create the light bulb, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This attitude exemplifies the champion's mindset. Edison viewed each failure as valuable information guiding him toward the solution he sought. Here's a powerful practice I recommend. Keep a redirection journal. Each time you experience what appears to be rejection, record the event and how you felt. Then, most importantly, write down what you learned and how this redirection might be guiding you toward something better. Over time, you'll begin to see patterns emerge, patterns that reveal the higher wisdom working in your life. The ability to rise after falling requires courage. It demands that you face your fears and move forward despite uncertainty. But know this, courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the judgment that something else is more important than fear. Your dreams, your purpose, your potential contribution to the world, these are worth rising for, time and again. Every great achievement in human history has come on the heels of numerous setbacks. The masterpiece follows countless drafts. The breakthrough follows years of apparent failure. The overnight success follows a decade of persistence, unseen by the public eye. So when rejection appears in your path, remember that it's merely redirection. Your task is to trust the process, learn the lesson, and rise again with renewed determination. For in the rising lies your growth, and in your growth lies the fulfillment of your greatest potential. Lesson 12. The Greatest Adventure. My dear young friends, we've come to the final chapter of our journey together, and what a magnificent adventure it has been. Throughout these pages, we've discovered that life isn't about avoiding failure, but rather embracing the divine redirections that guide us toward our true path. Think of your life as the greatest adventure story ever written. In every great adventure, the hero faces obstacles, wrong turns, and moments of doubt. But these challenges aren't there to defeat our hero. They exist to develop character, resilience, and wisdom that could be gained in no other way. When Columbus set sail across the vast Atlantic, he was searching for a route to India. Instead, he found a new world entirely. Was this a failure? Only if you measure success by your original limited vision rather than the greater discovery that awaited. The universe often has grander plans than our minds can conceive. The wonderful truth is that you are exactly where you need to be at this very moment. Every experience, whether joyful or painful, has been preparing you for what lies ahead. Those redirections that felt like rejections were actually cosmic course corrections, guiding you toward your authentic purpose. Within you lies incredible potential. The same force that creates stars and galaxies resides in your very being. This isn't mere positive thinking. It's acknowledging the divine spark within you. When you align your thoughts, dreams, and actions with this understanding, you tap into a power greater than any obstacle. Your thoughts truly do create your reality. By maintaining an attitude of gratitude even when faced with disappointment, you signal to the universe that you trust the greater plan unfolding. This trust activates what I call the redirection principle, the natural law that ensures closed doors lead to open windows of opportunity. When you awaken each morning, remember to ask yourself, what wonders await me today? What lessons will I learn? How might today's redirections lead me to tomorrow's victories? These questions program your mind to seek growth rather than comfort, progress rather than perfection. Young friends, as our journey comes to a close, I want you to know that you were born for greatness. not the kind measured by fame or fortune, but the profound greatness that comes from living authentically and serving others with your unique gifts. The world needs precisely what only you can give. Life will continue to present challenges and redirections. Doors will close, plans will change, but now you understand that these aren't rejections, they're loving guideposts from above, steering you toward your highest good. So go forward with courage and confidence. Embrace each redirection as the gift it truly is. Plant beautiful thoughts in your mind garden. Set clear and worthy goals. Master your time, maintain that magic attitude, and above all, trust the process of life, knowing that you are never alone on this grand adventure. This isn't the end. It's just the beginning of applying these principles in your extraordinary life. The greatest chapter is the one you'll write through how you live each day from this moment forward.